What's up? I'm Dwayne Rambo, and this is Home Improvement. Welcome to the 5th round of the QBO 2020, the Quarantine Build-Off. This week we challenged the builders to extension builds and bridge builds. This is a very challenging challenge. But it brings out the artistic values of things. A lot of this stuff isn't vapable, but we have a lot of fun doing this kind of stuff. Before we get started, I'd like to give a huge shout out to our sponsors. Coil Society, they send us over some wire that's going to be going out to the winner of the beginner intermediate tier, and there's going to be wire going out to the winner of the advanced master tier as well. And a huge shout out to Adam Custom Designs. William reached out to me and offered to sponsor the build off and provided some coil building tools for both tiers as well. Some badass stuff, man. I'm a little bit jealous, I ain't gonna lie. I do have some stuff from them. I'm gonna be showing you what I have from them. I did pick up a new tool from them, and we're gonna be taking a look at that, and we're gonna be comparing that to another tool that I've used for years. It'll be the first time I look at it too. We'll be unwrapping it, opening it up. It'll be the first time I take a look at it, and you guys will be taking a look at it with me. All right, so first we have from Adam Custom Designs, the ribbon corrugator. Now I actually picked one of these up myself to test this in comparison to the one I've had for years from Hobby Lobby. Let's compare that to the Adam Custom Designs corrugator. I have not opened this. We're gonna compare that with a piece of ribbon wire to the other corrugator and see how they look side by side from each other. On the back of his label, he says it's got lightweight 6061 T6 aluminum body, custom Neuro 6061 T6 aluminum knob. Corrugated output is a .022 23 gauge thick. Works with 1 millimeter thick ribbon and 38 gauge and thinner round wire. So 38 gauge is 0.1 millimeter wire as well. So he's suggesting to stick with 0.1 or smaller. So this thing is pretty goddamn badass. You see the machining on these things, stunning. Absolutely stunning. You see the holes here? That's for the wire to come through on the other side. Interesting, very interesting. If you've seen any of my work with my corrugated builds, it's all been with these gears. So, we can look at them side by side in comparison. They seem to be pretty similar. I know that the bigger gears over here may seem like they're just gonna make a bigger corrugated look. We shall see. Let's find out. Let me get some ribbon wire out, and we'll do a little test side by side to see how that goes. If you're looking closely here, you will see that one wave is bigger than the other, and like I said, the smaller wave here is from Adam Custom Designs. See, it's not significantly smaller, but it is smaller. It's like one size down. We can absolutely work with that. I think actually it'll work out a little bit better. I know for a fact it's gonna coil up real nice and beautifully. Sometimes when you use the wrong gears and you make your corrugated wire too big, you can't actually wrap it into a coil. It always collapses the core wire. So that's one thing that you wanna make sure that you pay attention to and make sure that you get a corrugating tool that's proven and true before you start pulling your hair out of your head thinking that you're doing something completely wrong wrapping your coils, and in fact, it's just a corrugated wire inside. It's just too big and wavy, and it's not going to cooperate when you wrap it. So I think that's nice that it's not identically the same as the one that I have access to. It's just a little bit smaller. I think that'll also be fantastic for binary wire. I bet that the smaller one will fit 6-ply ribbon, so it's probably about 6 millimeters wide. You can lay a binary wire on top of 6-ply instead, and then on the other side, the big one that's coming from the Hobby Lobby corrugating tool, that will lay down on 8-ply ribbon pretty snugly, and then it'll make contact on both sides of the valley, making for a nice clean binary build. So, all right, enough about the corrugated wire. Let's take a look at the rest of the tools here that are gonna be going out to the winners. The beginner intermediate tier will not get one of these, and this is the only difference between the packages that William sent out, and I rightfully agree with it that the advanced master should have something a little extra, and this is a nice little extra something to throw in for it. All right, so up next we're gonna look at the table mount swivel. This is a ball bearing rig, handmade in China, handmade in Canada. Let's take a look and see what he's got on the back of this here. So durable all metal 6061 T6 aluminum construction, 2 608 precision, hybrid ceramic bearings, run either in dual or single bearing configuration. So inside you get your spacer bearing and you get your pin. The way these are set up very smart. I love how he's got these with the locks on them like that. So you see how he's got his cotter pin. Everything's alloy. Everything is aluminum that he's using here. And this locks inside of the body, inside the housing. Fantastic engineering that he has here. This is the cotter pin. Super, super light. There's no weight to this. Super light. Look at the bearings in there. That's 2 of those in there. These are, I think he said the hybrid bearings. And last but not least, this is the core chuck. This is a flat chuck design that goes into your drill to keep your core wires flat. And I think this thing is very well designed. It's very well centered. I've used this at very high speeds. And with a bead lathe machine, when you have a big motor, 775 watt motor, spinning up to 13,000 RPMs, you want to make sure that you're perfectly centered. He sells these flat chucks in a couple different designs, and this one here is designed to go right onto the front of your electric motor. This is just a plastic housing that I had printed out to put my motor on, and this will slide into a rail. Yeah, this one goes directly to the motor. You remove the chuck from it, you put this directly on the motor, and you are perfectly centered at that point as long as you're hooking up your wires perfectly centered into that flat chuck. Both tiers are going to win the bearing rig system and the core chuck. The only difference between the prizes, the Advanced Master tier is going to get the ribbon corrugating tool. So let's take a look at the core chuck that he has here. Again, Adam Custom Designs. Man, huge shout out to William. William did not have to do this. This stuff is not cheap by no means. This is badass that he did this. He got here, it says adjustable to hold any thickness of core materials up to 1/16 of an inch. Adjustable both vertically and horizontally to align to the core center of the true spin axis. Alignment guide for both axes. 1 clamping screw is lockable. So you see his information. There it comes with the Allen key. This thing is pretty freaking badass. I love mine. So you see the line cut into the center here, so you know that you're centering up your build. This is all alloy. And that nice size rod there to stick into the drill chuck. This is different than the one that I had. The one that I had has a hole inside of it, like I believe a 5mm hole. This is thicker. This is probably closer to upwards to 10mm or something. Just eyeballing or guessing. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. However, the one that I showed you on mine, don't be confused. The one that I showed you is different than this. The one that I showed you has a female hole, and that slides down into the motor shaft. You have to remove the old chuck from that 775 watt motor, and you slide this up on top of it. But look at the machine work done here. This is absolutely stellar. Perfectly balanced. I can't speak highly enough about the machine work that he did here and the engineering that went behind this. It's absolutely fantastic. This stuff is designed to last a lifetime. This is not cheap China stuff that you're gonna get that works for a year if you're lucky. This is gonna last you a lifetime as long as you don't strip no threads and you're careful in aspects like that. This is gonna last forever. This stuff, like I said, great engineering and a lot of thought went behind this stuff, and it's an honor that William with Adam Custom Designs decided to reach out and sponsor this build-off. Huge shout out. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to all the judges who participated in this. We had 2 separate groups of judges. We had, for the beginner intermediate tier, we had 2 Coil Wars staff members, Patrick Hotchide, I can never pronounce his last name, sorry Patrick, and Dan Gorey. Both of these gentlemen have been admins of the Coil Wars Facebook group pretty much since the beginning of it. And the group wouldn't be what it is without these guys. These guys have been building for quite some time now. And also, I added in an addition. I added a master builder into the equation, Mr. Brian Malik and he's one hell of a builder. And then moving on to the judges for the Advanced Master tier, we have the coil guy. That's Craig Pomeroy, the owner of Juice Junkie. From what I understand over there in Europe, they have a fantastic company over there. They sell wire. He's got some spools, that parallel spool, so like for people that are parallel spooling 40 gauge, side by side, somehow he manages to put that on one spool, the parallel spool, which is badass. If you're over there, I highly suggest checking out Juice Junkie over there. Coil Guy is also known for Razorbacks. Since the beginning of Razorbacks, this man just went bonkers on doing Razorbacks. He's one hell of a builder. He's also been building since back in 2014. All of these builders are OGs that I brought in for the Advanced Master tier. I wanted to bring nothing but the best. The next we have is Greg Stevens. Mr. Greg Stevens, he's the creator of Defiant Designs. I have one of his mods here. It's a triple parallel mechanical squonk mod. An absolutely amazing design here. This is a fantastic mod that Greg himself has designed. He had a little bit of help with the Goon 25, I believe, as well. Greg has been a staple of this community since before I even got involved in it. And you know, when I remember my beginning days, I remember seeing Greg being part of everything and helping pave the path to what we have today in the coil building community. And last but not least, the man needs no introduction, Mr. Homeboy OC himself. It's an honor to have him on board as a judge. Mind-blowing that he took part of it. And also a huge thank you for bringing Twisted Messes in. You got Kent to take part in the build-up. The man's a walking legend. So without further ado, let's get down into the beginner intermediate tier and let's show you some of these builds. By now, where we're at, there's only a handful of builders left from that tier that had so many builders, I lost count. I lost count. We had 30 total after Twisted Message joined in the upper tier, and the beginner intermediate tier was there was just so many people involved in it. We're down to a handful of them, and these are the intermediate builders. There's no more beginners left in this. All the beginners have been eliminated, and we're going to show you a couple of the builds from this tier, and then we're going to move up to the Advanced Master tier.
All right, so up first we have Salvador Menduano. He says his first bridge extension to break your head after several attempts and different builds. I decided on this one. I hope you like it. He said it looks like a naked roller coaster. Specs are 12.3, 28 gauge frames, 2x38 gauge on the wagon extension, 2x20 gauge is the extension, 2x24, 6 loops, 32 gauge for braided. Looks like he's got a whole lot going on here. The big extensions coming out are the 20 gauge that he was talking about, and he's got the naked frame staple in here, and looks like a Solentra braid? Yeah, that looks like a Solentra braid he's got in there in the figure 8 style, kind of looping through everything. So this is just a crazy looking extension build that he's got going on here. Let's take a look at another photo from him. Okay, so looking at another photo from him, you see the braid a little bit better. He's got, I think he was saying, the 24 gauge that's in the middle of that braid there. And you can see the extensions from another angle here. Not a bad job, man, not a bad job. Let's head on over to what Kenny's got going on here and see what he did. Alright, so Kenny Coppajeans he says here, functional bridge, interlocking Fralian bridge with a 5-loop micro-clapping fishtail braid. And you can see here, he's got that braid going on. And it's looking pretty interesting. Let's take a look at another angle that he's got going on here. Alright, so now you can see here from a different angle, you can see that he's got the 2 coils that are coming up out of it. And that's the bridge running across the top there as that bridge. So, but it's an interesting build. This is definitely art, not vapeable. Don't fit into the cat. But, you know, we just have fun building this type of stuff. So let's head on over to the Advanced Master tier, and let's take a look at what Gabriel Sierra has here. Alright, so Gabriel Sierra, he says, hi Dwayne, my build for the round 5. A bridge coil with double Suka Alien, stack square 0.3 nichrome with 6-ply ribbon, and 0.3 stainless steel. It got 2 29 gauge frames, nichrome 80, a double Suka Alien with 0.2 stainless steel. He says, bridges triple head hog stick. He said the stack is ×2 square wire 0.3 nichrome 80, 6-ply ribbon and 0.3 stainless steel with 29 gauge nichrome 80 frames, and 1 square 0.3 nichrome 80 on more. And then on the triple hedgehog stitch, he's got 2-ply 0.3 stainless steel and 1.3 nichrome 80 stitch. So he's got 2-ply of 0.3 stainless steel, and he's got the one nichrome 80 that's 0.3. 38 gauge Kanthal with 44 gauge nichrome. And it makes sense to be using 38 gauge Kanthal. It's a little bit tougher to endure that microclapping. That stuff isn't easy. So he said that's he said fucking round 5, ha ha ha, very hard. Good luck for all, and good luck with editing the video. All right, we're getting to it, man. We're here. So let's take a look at another photo from you. See what you got here, man. All right, this one here, you can see it's all colored up. You can see inside here we've got the Clapton stitch going in through there. It's super sexy. We've got the triple razorback. I mean, that's a hedgehog triple razorback. So that is not easy to do. This is just a sexy build. He is definitely one of the best builders in the world. Everything that he came with in this build off has just been jaw-dropping, mind-blowing. One of my favorite builders in this build off. So Gabriel Serra's opponent, Simon Day. Let's take a look at Simon Day here. All right, so Simon says, hey bro, here you go. Specs are 25 gauge polished nichrome 80. Aliens are 3-core 27 gauge, 36 gauge fuse, all nichrome 80. The pitchfork is 0.3 nichrome 80 KA1. Fuses are 42 gauge nichrome 80 KA1. That's Kanthal. So this build looking pretty damn good. He's got the aliens holding the bridge together on this one. He's got the aliens holding onto the polished coil over there. The pitchfork is the bridge that's leading across. This is a very interesting build he's got going on here. Let's take a look at another photo from Simon. You can see here he's got it all colored up, and it's looking really, really good. You can see the stainless steel coloring from the aliens it looks like he's got there. And, yeah, man, I like it. These bridge challenges aren't easy. You know, there's a lot of things you can do, but there's a lot of things that haven't been done in the creativity business. It just kind of brings you into a builder's block. You know, even myself thinking of what I would be able to do with a bridge build, or a hanger extension build, it brings me right to a wall. You know, it's tough for builders to come up with stuff like this. We're not regularly building stuff like this, but he's got the colors contrasting nice and well. He's got a he's got a really good macro shot up and nice and close here to show you exactly what's going on, and that's some tiny wire that you're looking at there. That's definitely some tiny wire. So the judges like Simon Day's build better, and that's why Simon Day will be moving on. Congratulations, Simon. Gabriel Serra, man, thank you for being a part of this. Every week you came with nothing but jaw-dropping builds, brother. So keep that drill spinning, man. So up next we have Bruno Maillard. Let's see what Bruno's brought to the table. All right, so we don't have no specs from Bruno, but it looks like he's got the bridge down here. It looks like he's got a super Staggerton. I think that's what people call those. He's just got layers and layers of the Staggerton. So he's applying one more layer, and then he skip fuses. He's skipping. Looks like he skips 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like almost 6 skips there. So on the back of the bridge coil, you're going to see the wires leaning on angles heavily to be able to scoot over and skip that many gaps. But then that allows you to have a whole bunch of spaces in the middle, so you can keep adding layers and layers and layers. You got a few more ribbons, then skip fuse that, and add a few more ribbons, skip fuse that, and that's how you get what he has here. He's got that as the bridge. It looks like he has a staggered staple fuse Clapton as a decoration coil. It's fluffed and stretched over the top of it. Let's take a look at another build from Bruno here. All right, so on this one here, you can see up close, he's got a decent little macro shot here up close of the super Staggerton going on here. He's got, 1, 2, 3 layers that are fused on. So he's got that core in there. It looks like 4-ply of stacked ribbon, and he skip fused that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It looks like he skipped it 6 times and filled in everyone and still left 1 skipped in the middle. So with the 4-ply piece of ribbon in the middle as the main core, he's added on 3 more stacks of ribbon. Giving it a nice little look there. I like how that looks. So, and Bruno Maillard's opponent, Mass Coils. Let's see what Mass Coils brought to the table. All right, so Mass Coils says, "Hi dude, this is my entry for round 5 extension builds. So you have 1 ribbon stitched Razorback Enigma Clapton and 1 normal stitch with polished round wire inside, and another extension with an Enigma on ribbon. The ribbon stitched razor is 2 times 26 nichrome 80, so I'm assuming that's the frame, 6 ply 0.4 nichrome, and 6 ply 0.4 stainless steel. The razors are 0.2, clapped in with 44 gauge and stitched by 0.2 by 0.1. And it says, and the other is stitched by 36 stainless steel. The polish is 24 gauge stainless steel. The Tiny Enigma is 40 gauge stainless steel on ribbon, 0.6, 0.2 nichrome. I'm not so sure what that means exactly. So again, English isn't his native language. He's French. So the Tiny Enigma is 40 gauge stainless steel on a ribbon 0.6 / 0.2 nichrome 80. So 0.6 by 0.2 nichrome square wire. Oh, so the Tiny Enigma is 40 gauge stainless steel on ribbon is 0.2 6 ply nichrome 80. I think that's what he's saying here. So this is a dope build. This guy has just come with nothing but fire this whole build off, and this doesn't surprise me the least bit to see what I'm looking at right here. Let's take a look at another photo from Matt. Let's see some colors here. All right, so looking at him here closer, just amazing. So looking at that little Tiny Enigma that he's got going there, I can't tell what that core wire is. He said 0.6, then 0.2 nichrome. So the 6, is it this square wire and not ribbon wire that I'm looking at here? I really can't even tell. And nonetheless, this build is just sick. Yeah, this is just mine. You can sit here and figure out things that he did to this build, staring at it for longer and longer and longer, trying to determine exactly what's going on here. This is just mind-blowing. And the judges agree, and that's why the judges will be giving this round to Mass Coils. Congratulations, Mass Coils. We'll see you in that final round, man.
All right, so congratulations to Simon Day and Matt Coils. These gentlemen will be the final 2 competitors moving on into round 6. And we're gonna be going into round 6 right now. Moving into round 6, the challenge is an open battle, meaning that they can build anything their hearts desire, they can build it. They come with their best. And I like that as a last challenge in a build-off, because when you get down to the end, you just wanna come with your A game. And that's what I wanted to see from these guys. And let's see if they came with it. Moving into the 6th round here, for the beginner intermediates here, there is 4 builders left. We narrowed it down all the way down to 4 builders for the beginner intermediates here. And I'm gonna show 2 builds out of it that I selected that I like the best out of it. Trying to cram in 2 rounds into one video here. I would love to go over all of theirs, we just don't have the time for it. So, Again, if you want to see these builds from the beginner intermediates here that I have not been covering, you can head over to the Facebook Coil Warriors group and join that group over there. We're pushing close to 20,000 members over there strong. It's a very active group and a very helpful group. Zero toxicity. I don't tolerate that. So, don't hesitate to head on over there. Go to the top of the group and the pinned post up at the top, and you're going to be able to follow along each week as it's progressed. There'll be a link for each video there as well on my channel that's covering the videos. And there's a listing of all the submissions that were submitted in the build-off. There's so many of them, I could not cover all of it from the lower tier. I selected Kenny and I selected Salvador. So let's take a look at what these guys came with, and then we'll head on over to the Advanced Master tier and see who's taking them prizes home.
Up first is Kenny Coppagins. He says, "This is it, 6 weeks, final entry. It's almost an emotional situation. Good luck to all fellow competitors. Below is my final build. Stovetop to stovetop hybrid, Alception to mothership Fralium bridged with micro alien fused frame staple." So the figure 8 infinity looking stovetop thing he's got going on there is a hybrid. It's got a mothership on one side. What a mothership is it's basically a micro Clapton alien. Well, that's what it is. It could be any type of core, but I'm assuming he's got the ribbon cores in there, the frame staple core. And looks to me like he's got some ribbon wire fused with an alien on it, and that's what's looping through this infinity looking coil. Not too bad looking here. I like how they've got the hybrid going on, that stovetop going there. So it's definitely a nice new look. I appreciate how he did the hybrid on the infinity looking stovetop coil that he's got here. Let's take a look at another one of his photos. All right, so on this one here, he's got it colored up. And after speaking to the judges, they said that Kenny could have been the top build in here, but you could tell that he colored the stovetop infinity coil with a torch or a lighter or something. and he couldn't get it to fire right, or however, whatever reason, it looks like he toasted that middle coil, and that one had just way too much resistance in comparison to the figure 8 coil that he has here, the hybrid coil. So that boils down to a little bit of this, you know, balancing act here. Kenny ended up placing 4th out of this one here in this round. But I like what he did here. I just wish that he would have got this to fire right and been able to pulse that infinity coil properly without, you know, having to put fire to it and get some color out of that coil. So good job, Kenny, man. I appreciate you taking part in this build-off, man. Everything that you've been submitting throughout the entirety of this build-off has been impressive. And here you are in the final round, man. Congratulations. Okay, so let's move on to the next builder that I picked from the beginner intermediates here. Okay, so this build here is by Salvador Menduano. And he says, well, gentlemen, this is my entry for the last week. Inception coil corrugated and the binary coil, I did my best. Leave my eyes after using this 40 gauge. English isn't his native language either. So thanks for the opportunity. Good luck. All greetings from Mexico. So looks like he's got some flattened wire. Troy Connolly, I forget his Instagram name, years ago, maybe like 5 years ago, he was doing wavy wire. And it's very similar to what a corrugated wire would look like, except for you do a Clapton and D-Court like an Alien, then you flatten that down, and he was calling that wavy wire. And I believe he was the first one to introduce that to the coil building community. And like I said, this was years ago. I still see Troy around here and there, but he's not very active, and he's not active in the coil building community anymore. But it's good to spread the information of where things came from, and if that's what he's got going on. And to me, that looks like a wavy wire as the binary inside. I could be wrong, but this build looks really, really, really nice. Almost as if it don't belong in the intermediate tier. However, when you start pushing builders who are intermediates, you're going to see advanced builds come out of them. And this is absolutely an advantage. So, killer build here. Let's take a look at another photo from Salvador. Again, congratulations, Salvador. You took this one home. Let's move on to the Advanced Masters here, and let's see what these guys got. Okay, so this is the final round, round 6 of the Advanced Masters here. And the final 2 builders remaining are Simon Day and Mass Coils. These 2 gentlemen are going to go head to head, and we're about to find out who's going to take this one home. Up first, we have Simon Day. He says, here you go, brother. This build-off has killed me. I'm done. I've given it my all. The specs are a whole lot of fucking stag. All 0.3 Nichrome 80 KA1 grip. The largest pitchfork stag in the center is a 42 gauge Nichrome 80 M90. Fuses and staggers with a 34 gauge Clapton with 42 gauge Nichrome 80 KA1. So he's blending Nichrome with Kanthal. The Big Dipper double stag is 42 gauge, all Nichrome 80, I think. He says he thinks. So the outer wrap around the stag is 40 gauge Nichrome 80 blended with Nichrome 90. The build ohms out to 0.06. Thanks for everything, man. It's been hard, but I've had a blast. Cheers to you and the judges, Simon. So Simon has put together some craziness here. And it looks to me a little bit like he started playing Mass Coils game here. And that probably wasn't his best move. But let's take a look and see what he's got here. He's got some wicked blends of alloys here. And he's using a lot of Kanthal in here, which is shocking, but it will contrast well. You can get a little bit of color from Kanthal, and if you pulse the ever-living shit out of it, you get an army green color from Kanthal, believe it or not. So let's take a look at another photo from Simon here. All right, so looking real close here, man, you see this tiny, tiny wire. You can see that he's got the frames of this fused up as well. And man, this is very, very, very clean. He did a good job on this one. So, and you can see both of the styles of the coils he has built here. There's 2 different styles of them here. You look inside the cores on the big coil here, and then you look at the cores on that smaller stick there that he's got waving around, just a bunch of madness going on. You know, it's and it looks like he's even got that inner core. He flattened that inner core on the big one there, on the big stick here. So yeah, look really, really close into that middle of that stick, and you'll see it's either polished or it's flattened. And I'm gonna guess that it's flattened. I don't know, unless he polished it and unwrapped it a little bit, but I'm gonna assume that he flattened that. Let me read back through here. So that's 34 gauge that he's got going on there, and he didn't say exactly what he did. He said the 34 gauge Paraclapser with 42 gauge N80 and KA1. So I'm not exactly sure what he did, but I would put money on it that he flattened it. I'm gonna have to ask him later. So let's take a look at another photo from him. All right, so another one of these where he put a drip shot on, and I absolutely love drip shots. I'll tell you that right now. It's awesome seeing them. I like seeing the refraction in them. If you can get creative and put something really, really sexy inside the refraction so you see it inside of the drip, would even be cooler. You know, it's just absolutely beautiful, and it's artistic, dropping that vegetable glycerin on there. I like to do that, and I like to use pure vegetable glycerin because I'm a mixer and I can do that, but this is absolutely sexy. So let's take a look at Mass Coil's builds, and let's see what Simon Day is up against. All right, so here is Mass Coils, and Mass Coil says, "Hi dudes, so here we are, fingers crossed, my final entry." So it's a Helix Enigma stovetop with an inlay and an Enigma clap. The Helix Enigma base is 2x26 nichrome 80, 6-ply 0.4 nichrome 80, and 6-ply 0.4 stainless steel. The Helix Enigma is 2 Claptons twisted with 36 gauge and 44 gauge nichrome 80. One Helix is 2 44 gauge nichrome 80 twist, and the other is 40 gauge stainless steel inlay is spaced with 34 gauge stainless steel. And all my Enigma loops, the Enigma Clapton base is 2x26 nichrome 80, that's the frames, 6-ply 0.4 and 6-ply 0.4 nichrome 80 and 6-ply 0.4 stainless steel. The base is Clapton by 40 gauge stainless steel, and the Enigma is 40 gauge stainless steel on 0.5 by 0.1 nichrome 80 rivet. So again, a whole lot of everything going on here, because that's just what Mass Coils does. So you look at this coil here, I don't even know what he did. If you look at that top coil, the inlay has a spiral. It looks like he decored off of like 10 gauge and just wrapped it and twisted it up in there. Very unique. I've never seen that before. Even the judges, they said they'd never seen that before. I was talking to Homeboy a little bit afterwards about that. He was just mind blown how he incorporated that in there. Let's take another look at another photo from Mass Coils. All right, so looking at it from the bird's eye view, right over the top here, you get a little better of a look at what's going on here. Just madness, just absolute madness. If you've seen the pile, if you ever asked Mass Coils to show you the wire, show you the spools of wire that he used to do his builds, he'd probably pull out a bin of wire and set it on the table and tell you I'd use everything inside of it. And I would not be shocked if that's how it played itself out. Mass Coils just uses everything in his builds, and he makes it look absolutely stunning. Let's take a look at another photo from him. All right, so looking at it nice and colored up there, it looks like he's got that, the colors posted nice and purple on that bottom stick there. The Enigma he's got going on the bottom. Man, this is just so much into this. I don't even want to ask him how long it took him to do these builds, because just looking at it makes my head hurt, because just thinking about the amount of time that he puts into this stuff. So let's look at another one from him and see what else he's got here. He's got a macro shot I want to show you guys. All right, so now you can see that spiral wire that he's got going through the Enigma, like he stitched it through the Enigma, through that center hump on the Enigma. And again, he's got that helix. That Enigma is a helix. Just wow. You can see all the core wires, all the ribbon wire that's stacked up on the frame staple core wire that he's got here. And then he took that helix, and one of the helixes here that he twisted up, I think he said he twisted 42 gauge, 44 gauge twist, and the other one's a 40 gauge stainless steel inlay. So yeah, absolutely stunning. Let's take a look at another one. So here you go again. Here's another part of the build that you didn't see. You see the little Enigmas on the side there that was wrapped up on the bottom of the coil, sitting next to his Helix Enigma. So he made that helix wire and then did the Enigma with it, and then he put that coil wire. He stitched it, is what I would say. I would call that a stitch. It like threaded in, really, that decored wire there, and it's very unique. It may be simple enough. I don't know how easy it is to even line that all up and get that to go in there right. I'm sure you'd have to stretch it right and then spin it in there to lock it into the tops of these Enigmas that point up. But still, man, unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's the first time I've ever seen that, and I can probably say that's the first time anybody has seen that. Mass Coil just did that on his own. He just Mass Coiled it up.
Okay, so congratulations, Salvador. you are the winner. I think there was probably 75 or 80 competitors to join this tear. And you came out on top, Salvador. Absolutely fantastic work in this last round. You absolutely deserve it. I really enjoyed that last build that you submitted. It was pretty badass, man. That was an epic build. In order, the judges decided to put the builders in order. It was Salvador, then Peter Frey, Damien, and Kenny. Now, Kenny's build possibly could have gone up to the top. I probably talked a little bit about that in the commentary as well, but his Infinity Stovetop that he did not fire properly. He toasted the one wire on the bottom, the loop wire that was going through them. That was too low of a resistance. He didn't balance it out correctly for the stovetop to fire as well. So he had to take a torch or whatever, he applied heat to it himself, and that is what put him at the bottom. So Salvador, Peter, Damien, and Kenny, that's the order. Congratulations, Salvador. You kicked ass, man, and you deserve it. And that's it. For the winner of the Advanced Master tier is Mass Coils. The man came every single round with madness. I'm gonna give an honorable shout out to Gabriel Sierra. That guy is a mind-blowing builder, and I was for sure he was gonna be in this round. It's just the luck of the draw. I could have swore that you were gonna make it to the final round, man. Every single week that you came with it, you came hard with some madness. I was rooting for you. Man, the builds you put in were stellar. Absolutely mind-blowing. So congratulations, Mass Coils. Reach out to me. I'm gonna need some shipping information to ship you out your coils. Same thing, Salvador, from the beginner intermediate tier. Reach out to me. I need your shipping information. We can go ahead and start shipping these prizes out to you guys. You guys win a bundle of wire. We'll get a list of wire that's gonna go out to the beginner intermediate tier, and we're gonna get the wire to go out to the advanced master tier. So congratulations, man. Thank you every last one of you guys that participated in this build-off. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. It was an honor hosting this for you guys, and I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. It was hard work on my end as well, but here we are finally now at the end. Congratulations, Mass Coils, my man. Just, you know what I mean, a lot of people probably guessed you were gonna win, and I'll be honest, man, you had your competition cut out for you. These guys came strong. Gabriel, I can't say enough for the things that he submitted. And you know, some of the best coil builders in the world took part in this tier, and you guys put on a hell of a show, man. Hell yeah. So that's a wrap. That's it. That is the finale of the QBO 2020 Quarantine Build-Off. It's been one hell of a journey. Keep them drills spinning.